Hey everyone, so like I promised, here is the free-to-play updated tier list for all my non-spenders, and since we have a seemingly permanent IMT banner up now, we can slowly save up some tickets. So I'm going to include one IMT unit that you can work towards, and it's going to have the most difference for you. Going to make the most difference in your team, just getting one copy, Hero Soul 0. And also show what's probably the meta team for you with and without that unit, so let's get right into it. Oh, wait. Triple S, gonna be the best. SS you can definitely use. Burn, or just for a couple units in the burn team if that's what you're using. It's not gonna be as good as like a meta team, but if you're just starting out, you might not get units like Lubu and stuff like that, so you can definitely use the burn team until you get better units. S, you can use if you have to, but you're gonna wanna stay away from. 13-star food is for units that you can make into 13-star food to rank up other units, and then food is regular food, you can do whatever you want with them. So Yan Long, Wen Shou, Gan Ming, and Chao Ren are just regular food. Oh, Lu Meng is too. Jia Zhu is just going to be 13-star food. There's really not any reason to use him. Might be S, like you probably use him if you have to, but I probably wouldn't. I even tried pairing him with IMT Sima Yi, because he does a lot of poisons as well, which I thought would buff IMT Sima Yi's damage, and didn't do anything, so just stay away from him. Lu Lingqi, though, is going to triple S tier. So she attacks 3 random enemies and gives them a debuff, which is either they deal 25% less damage, take 25% more damage, can't use basic attacks, or they just straight up get stunned. She can restore rage when she inflicts a debuff, and allies deal more damage to debuffed units, plus you can stack that with the Oarfish. She also buffs War, Mortal, Holy Heroes with attack, defense, and crit rate. Lu Xun is going into the burn tier. He's got an AoE that has a chance to stun, which is great. Stuns are awesome. And the chance is increased for each burn stack. He also inflicts burns if the target isn't burned yet, and he can pursue when targets get 3 stacks of burn and restore 1 rage. He also restores 1 rage if his AoE stuns fewer than 3 enemies, and the stun chance for the next skill is increased. It can also extend the length of burns. He's a must-have for a burn team if that's what you're rocking. And you could also use him for stuns in PvP as well. Sun Quan is also part of the burn team. Kind of. He's a tank. There's no tanks in this game. Tanks are kind of useless, right? But if you are not getting enough burns, you can use him to apply burns. Otherwise, he's just going to be a 13-star food. Zhu Rong, I'm going to put in S tier. Depending, she attacks enemy front row, can inflict onslaught, which is just a damage over time debuff, and can also inflict it when getting attacked. Onslaught will also reduce enemy damage reduction though, which is good, while granting herself a shield. It will also steal some of their defense, up to 90% in total, and can transfer debuff from an enemy to an enemy with onslaught. So she's kind of like in between the top of S, the bottom of SS. For free to play. Remember, this is a free to play tier list. I know I'm still going to get somebody in the comments ragging on me for my unit placement or asking where the IMT units are. This is specifically for our free to play players. What's her name? Zhang Xingkai. Hard time pronouncing that one. Is just food. Hua Tuo is going to be an S tier. These two, they're kind of almost in between S and SS, Hua Tuo and Zhu Rong. In fact, I should probably make another tier for them. They're just better than the other units I have in S tier, but not quite SS. So Hua Tuo heals 3 allies, cleanses 1 debuff from them. She can heal an ally at the start of a turn and cleanses more than 4 debuffs in a turn. She heals all allies again. She can also revive an ally when they die once per battle. The Occult Moose does make her a lot less valuable though, since we can get revived without taking up a slot in our team. Guan Yiping is going to S tier. She got an AoE that consumes all of her rage while dealing more damage for more rage consumed. Kind of like a crappy budget Lubu, because she stuns herself for 1 turn if she kills someone with that skill. And if she doesn't kill anybody, she stuns herself for 2 turns. She also deals more damage to enemies over 50% HP. You can use her when you're just starting out. She does deal quite a bit of damage, but you would have to factor her into your team in a way where you're not relying on her for more than 1 hit. So like make her go before Lubu, because she gets more damage if the enemies are over 50% HP. But like she's gonna fall off. I've seen some people use her to some success, but you can use her. but I probably just stay away. We got Huangzong and Food, same as Zhu Chu. Zhang Fei, I'm going to put in triple S tier. He attacks front row, taunt enemies as well as the highest attack enemy, so 2 enemies in total. He also gives an invincible shield to the 2 lowest HP allies for a turn. He also reduces damage by 20% if it's more than 15% of his max HP, and can reduce the attacker's rage. So when he dies the first time, he will survive instead, gain unyielding, so he won't be able to die in that turn, no matter, well, I think we have, do we have a unit that can hit through unyielding? I'm drawing a blank here. I think so? I think we do. Anyway, he gets a lifesteal plus additional healing per hit. Really good to use for his invincible shield. The taunt is okay as well since it draws some damage his way away from your other units. Ma Chao, I'll put in S tier. Attacks enemy vertical row, can reduce their rage by 1. His basic attacks can also reduce rage. He can do this basic attack when enemies restore rage, as well as do it again if they have 3 or more rage after the first attack. He deals more damage depending on target's rage, and if they have less than 3 rage, he can rage ban them, which is really cool. They won't be able to use their rage. Although it's one person, it's a pretty low chance for 1 turn. Otherwise, he probably would be better. We have Xiao Qiao going into SS tier. She's got an AoE that can dispel, or has a chance to dispel 1 buff per target and a chance to reduce enemy rage by 1. Whenever an ally gains extra rage, she has a chance to increase it by 1 as well. And she has a chance to dispel buffs gained by enemies, which also damages them and has a chance to reduce their rage by 1. So pretty good on a lot of teams. She does end up dealing some damage because she does damage them when dispelling buffs, and there's a lot of buffs people are going to be applying, right? Plus the rage helps. It in a free-to-play team, you're obviously going to be using Lu Bu, right? Like, of course. So having extra rage helps a lot. Who do we got next? Xiaohu Dun. It's just 13-star food. Da Qiao, I'll put an S tier. She heals all allies, gives them a heal over time buff, and then buffs their dodge. Whenever they dodge an attack, they'll get healed. When her HP drops below 30% chance, she gets a dodge buff, and she restores HP when she dodges. And I would not rely on dodging, but if you need a healer, you could use her until you get a better healer, but try to stay away. This whole S tier you should try to stay away from, basically. I was kind of hyping up Guan Yinping. I don't know why. In the other games, I kind of liked her too. It's just a whole lot of damage, but screws herself over. I don't know. It's just a fun unit, I guess. Next up, we have Lu Bu. Definitely going to triple S tier. If it would let me squeeze him in there. Come on. There we go. So you should know him by now. Instead of rage skill, his basic attacks gets a 10% damage buff up to 200%. He deals true damage after 4 basic attacks. He can do pursuit attacks. He self-gains rage when allies use skills, and when his rage is over 13, his basic attack turns into an AoE, dealing 50% damage to all the other enemies on the field. Super rage hungry because you need 13 rage constantly for this guy. If you don't have his max rage, he's going to be doing a lot less damage. There's a lot of ways to generate rage now, so it's not as horrible, but it's still, that 13 rage is quite a bit. Lady Huang, one of these, I would say 13-star food. She might be S, like you could use her if you're just starting out in like PvP for her silences. And she does have some rage reduction and makes enemies take extra damage. I guess I'll leave her in S tier. Yuan Shao is actually going to be triple S tier. He is pretty dang good. Pretty good damage dealer. His AoE that also buffs his attack permanently with his command buff gives a 5% damage buff per stack, while also being able to recast the skill. Whenever allies inflict debuffs, he also gets that buff, and when an ally gets hurt, he gets it as well. You can also trigger basic attack pursuits at 7 stacks and ignores 30% of defense at 12 stacks. Sun Si is going into Burn Team. His AoE has a chance to be cast 3 times per turn, which is pretty cool, increasing with each burned enemy, like the chance to be able to do that. He gains crit rate for each burn stack on an enemy, and when allies inflict burn, Sun Si buffs his damage with Scourge, which is his like own unique buff. At 4 stacks of Scourge, he gains a massive crit damage buff, like quite a bit, and at 8 stacks his skills heal him. What you really want him for, though, is his ability to detonate burn stacks instantly, just causing all the damage that they have stacking up. Instead of having them just tick off, they just plop, and they just do all the damage, right? So I don't know why I did the sound effect. I'm tired. It's late. I'll feel a little silly. Taishi C, really no reason to use him. Lady Zen is going to be S tier, probably there. Heals 3 allies, grants them Sanctum, which will negate their next debuff received, which will also heal them. And after 4 debuff removals, she buffs damage for the highest attack ally. At the start of each turn, she can apply this to every ally. The Sanctum is going to help a pretty good amount before you can get some fish going. That'll help with your debuff res, especially like against IMT CME, or like there's a lot of really strong debuffs now. So not even just like little poison debuffs, but like having some debuff control is pretty good, but that shouldn't really be your main concern. As free to play, you're going to be falling behind in damage and survivability. So that's why Yubu, Yuanshao, great damage dealers. Lu Lingyi, good for survivability and damage, because she does lower the damage that enemies can deal or increase the damage they take. And Zhongfei is just straight survivability. Dongzhuo, I'm going to put an S tier. You can still kind of use him. He shields himself and an ally for 2 turns. He also takes 50% of the damage they receive and puts it on himself from the lowest HP ally. And when it ends, he heals both of them and can make either him or an ally immune to death for a turn if they take fatal damage. We have Dian Wei going into 13-star food. Dao Chen, I'm going to put an SS tier. She attacks 2 enemies, can charm them, which is a stun that reduces their damage reduction, and if it procs, and if it misses, it reduces their rage and attack instead, so it's always doing something. She also increases Lubu's damage by 10%, and whenever a charm lands, he's going to do a pursuit attack. So she's going to help out his damage, but not really enough, in my opinion, to slot into the team. Like, you can, but it's just his pursuit attacks. It depends if he has enough rage for his pursuit attacks, right? Because he needs that 13 rage. And if he's always doing his pursuit attacks, always using rage, he's not really gonna have a chance to build it up to 13. So it can end up hurting you if you're not getting enough rage. If you are getting enough rage, it can help. Plus the stuns are pretty nice. Zhou Yu is going into burn. His AoE's got a 50% chance to apply burn. His basic attacks can apply burn as well. He increases all burn damage while he's alive by 30%, which is absolutely needed for a burn team. And whenever a burn deals damage, it can heal all allies as well. He can also apply a debuff that helps burn spread, and when an enemy with burn stacks dies, he'll transfer it to another enemy, so it doesn't waste them. Just, you really need him on a burn team if that's what you're doing. Sun Xiangzhang going into S tier. Her AoE can steal 1 rage from 2 enemies, give them to the 2 highest attack allies, and then buff their attack as well. Her skills can also grant that ally up to 3 rage and can shut down enemies' basic attacks and pursuit attacks. Actually, I think she's probably... yeah, no. Right there, I forgot this is S+, not S. So yeah, she can shut down an enemy's basic attack and pursuit attacks. Still okay for a Lubu team if you need her. Not needed as much now. There's more ways to get rage. If you do need more rage for your Lubu team, use her. Liu Bei going into SS tier. He heals all allies, grants them a shield, and buffs their MIT, which is damage mitigation. When the shield breaks, they perform a basic attack and they'll also get healed. If it expires, it's converted into HP. When allies drop below 30% for the first time, they get an extra shield and receive more healing while it's active. So pretty good survivability support. Kai Wenji is going to 13-star food. Zhao Yun, I'm putting in S tier. Deals vertical row damage, can get extra turns pretty often. His extra turns buff his crit rate and damage for that turn. When he drops below 30% HP, he gets another turn with an increased crit rate and lifesteal buffs. So he's decent. Actually, S+ decent, not the best. Sujie Long, probably the most important unit free to play, or even pay to win. Like, you need him or you're gonna have a rough time. So he has an AoE heal, an attack buff that can restore 1 rage. It also buffs crit rate, crit damage, and can be cast twice. The second cast will be only half of the efficacy, so half the healing, half the attack buff. Skill also increases rage gen. Oh, and the crit rate and crit damage won't stack, just the attack and heal. Really, really good, generating rage. Some heals as well. You combine that with Liu Bei's shield, will increase Zhu Jielong's healing. Use potential, I always forget what it is, 2-1, 2-3, that increases, or no, converts. When you're healed, you're at full health and you get healed, it'll convert that healing into a shield. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I said, it's late. We got Guan Yu going into SS tier. Pretty decent. It has high single timage, hey? High single damage, single target. I'm leaving all this in. I'm tired. High damage, single target skill that casts a basic attack if he kills the enemy. He can pursue when allies use basic attacks and can counter when attacked. He reduces enemy defense and buffs crit rate, while his crit attacks deal extra damage. Still really good for damage, and you can slot him into pretty much any team. Zhang Lao going into SS tier. AoE deals a lot of extra damage to enemies under 50% HP, which is really good. If you're not using Guan Yu as like a secondary sweep up damage dealer, Zhang Lao is really good as well. He gets a damage buff every 10% HP lost, and a damage buff when there are fewer enemies on the field, which will help mitigate the inherent damage loss on an AoE unit. Deals splash damage on kill, and each kill gives him a 50% chance to cast the skill again for free. So not bad at all. We got Xiao Xiao, probably there. His AoE can restore 1 rage to all allies. He can also restore rage when allies are hit with a debuff and when allies cast a skill, so a lot of rage. His skill grants an invincible shield to the lowest HP ally, and he gets a damage reduction buff whenever he gains rage outside of his turn. So depending on what kind of team you got going on, that can happen a lot. It'll at least happen with the Fox Beast. So next up, we got Guojia. Right about there, I guess. He has an AoE that can restore 1 rage to an ally. His basic attacks can also restore 1 rage to an ally and steal 1 rage from an enemy. If the ally has more than 2 rage, they're also going to get a damage buff, which works out really well for, well, any of your damage dealers, but Lu Bu especially. Sima Yi. Going into SS tier. He's an AoE that deals more damage if he has higher rage than the enemy. And if you're running free to play, you're probably running a rage generating team for Lu Bu, so he fits in there really well. He also deals more damage if the target has over 50% HP. He has a chance not to use rage when using his rage skill, and if his rage is above 4, he deals even more extra damage. So, like I said, good for slotting into a rage generating team. So that is the tier list. That looks spot on to me. And I was talking about, and I'm not using notes for the rest of this. I'm just babbling now. So I was talking about at the beginning of the video about an IMT unit that would be good to go as a free-to-play unit, a free-to-play player. So we have a permanent IMT banner out now, right? And you can only get 2 summons a day. It's going to take you 40 days to hit hard pity. You can get luckier and get them before that. Most of the time, you're probably going to hard pity. So out of all the units there, so we got IMT Zhao Chan, IMT Guan Yu, Zhu Jielong, Zhou Yu, Zhao Yun, Xiao Qiao, Sima Yi, and Lu Bu. So when they all came out, so I stopped spending really in the game, to be honest. Like I've said in a bunch of the other videos, game is super similar to the dev's previous games. I already wailed out on one, was a mid spender on the other. Don't really feel like spending more money on what's essentially the same game. It is different enough that it's not. All these IMT units, none of them, well, except for Zhu Jielong, all the other ones are completely 100% different. Zhu Jielong is the exact same. So I'm saying this because I don't have Zhao Yun, Zhou Yu, Guan Yu, or Dao Chen. I do have Xiao Qiao, Sima Yi, and Lu Bu. So I tested out Sima Yi and Lu Bu, both Hero Soul 0 against my Lu Bu, and I gave them better fish than Lu Bu, because Lu Bu can't use skill damage fish, right? So they had better fish than Lu Bu, but not by much, right? And I linked them to Lu Bu, so they had the same level and everything. And IMT Lubu did deal better damage than regular Lubu, but Sima Yi did much, much better than either one of them. So I think what would be best for a free-to-play unit saving up those IMT tokens in the summon banner is to get Sima Yi. We also have a really good fish for him, is the ore fish, up to 36% more damage. Super easy to fish to get, to max out just by playing the game. Xiaoqiao and Zhuje Long. So they are both better at Hero Soul Zero than the counterparts. But Zhuje Long, I don't think they're better enough from their counterparts to really do anything huge for your team. But Sima Yi, IMT Sima Yi deals so much more damage than the regular Lubu that I think it is worth slotting in. So what could possibly be your meta team? Definitely Zhuje Long, definitely Lubu. Yuan Shao is a fantastic secondary damage dealer. Liu Bei would be awesome. Same with Lu Lingyi. So you've got 2 survivability supports, 1 survivability and damage support, 2 damage dealers, and then you could either swap in, if you need more damage, the Guan Yu, Sima Yi, Zhang Lao. Could use Dao Chen if you want a little bit of support with her stuns and more damage for Lu Bu if you're getting enough rage. Or you could use Zhang Fei. So it could be this whole top tier plus Liu Bei, or the first 4 plus Liu Bei and Dao Chen if you have enough rage. And remember, Xiaoqiao, Guo Jia, and Sun Shangzhang can all generate rage for you if you are short on Liu Bu. And if you are able to get your hands on Sima Yi, you can just replace Liu Bu, because then you're not relying on so much rage generation, right? Like if you use Zhang Fei, Lu Lingyi, Yan Shao, Lu Bu, Zhuje Long, and Liu Bei, you're probably not going to be hitting your 13 rage unless you've got your beast level up a bit and some other stuff. So you're probably going to have to swap out either Zhang Fei or Lu Lingyi for one of these rage generators. So that would be like your free-to-play way to do it. If you're doing free-to-play plus an IMT unit from the banner, which you can get free, right? Then we would swap out Lu Bu. So now it would be Zhuje Long, IMT Sima Yi, Yuan Shao. Lu Lingyi works super, super well with Sima Yi with the debuff, extra debuff damage, right? And then Zhang Fei and Liu Bei. You could still have 4 supports. Yuan Shao and Sima Yi will do more damage than Lu Bu, Yuan Shao, and another damage dealer. So I'll put a row here for free to play, 2 options, I guess, and then the IMT Sima Yi next. I'll put it free to play plus. So hopefully that makes sense. I didn't script any of that out or have any notes for it. It's kind of just rambling off the top of my head. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll gladly help you out. And I'll catch you next time. See ya.